Lord, we ask that you allow us to take control of our minds and our bodies and our souls, oh Lord God. Give us the discipline that we need for this journey, oh God. Lord, we thank you for our future habits. We thank you in advance that we are focused. We thank you in advance that we're taking the right trades and we're learning our lessons. We thank you in advance for all the new people that we're going to bring upon this journey with us, Lord God. Lord, we thank you for allowing us to feel whole with nothing missing and nothing broken, Lord God. Lord, I ask that you continue to give us the strength to do this journey and not quit. Yes. Because that's the only time we fail, God. Lord, we just thank you because you are mighty and wonderful. And if you do nothing else, we're still grateful, Lord God. We give you the honor, the glory, and the praise. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. All hearts and minds, if you agree, please say amen or put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. Light it up. Again, I pray in God, I pray everybody had a great great week, great day. Shireen, thank you for that beautiful prayer. Really ushering in some of the things that you definitely want to cover today. Man, Shireen and I have been immensely blessed in so many ways. Just to be able to have everybody here today. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. Definitely never take it for granted. Oh, what's going on with this mic? Definitely want to take it for granted. All right. So first thing of business. So tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, there will be another opportunity call. If you haven't been checking in, or the Rich U enrollment calls, those are opportunity calls. It's an opportunity to get the word out and let everybody know what's exactly going on with this company, what's going on with this business, what's going on with this team. If anyone is looking to put themselves in position for growth, watching this video, you definitely want to take the time to get guests on these particular calls. Or if you have not been fully engaged and you just, quite honestly, you may be at lost as to what I Am Mastery Academy actually offers today, you definitely want to hop on that particular call so you can get realigned and get readjusted. This is the season. Actually, this is the year for alignment. My pastor, even at where we attend a service at, they have a slogan, so to say, for the rest of the year. It's to pursuit of, what am I saying it right? Pursuit of alignment, right? It's the pursuit of alignment. So, excuse me, I'm saying that wrong. The year of pursuit. The year of pursuit. Within that year of pursuit, there each month it covers a specific type of thing or idea in which we need to pursue. Month 1 was alignment. Month 2 was help me out with this. Relationships. Month 3 is right now is significance. The reason I want to bring
actually month 2 was intimacy. Excuse me. I didn't know what you was.
Intimacy. Yeah, I wanted to make sure. So thank you.
And number 3 is significance. I love this one.
So this particular one, I love intimacy because it really helps us to become more alignment with who we are. What is significant to you in life? What is significant to you?
You go lay down.
All right. What's significant to you? Or how do you rate yourself in your significance? Definitely want to show you guys something real quick. Well, we're going to definitely cover Atomic Habits. We're going over chapter 2 today. I can't wait to bring Elizabeth up to to see where we're going to be. She's going to be spearheading that particular subject. But I definitely want to cover this real quick. But just some quick notifications. So today, the I Am Rotherham, I might be saying it wrong. Rotherham, right now they're doing the conference out this week. Next week, we're going to be in Orlando on the 23rd. Everything is all in alignment. We already know who's going to be there. I'm grateful. Can't wait to see everybody. Make sure you get yourself one of those plastic bags that I told you about. The stadium approved see-through bags. Make sure you get yourself one. Make sure you look at the specs. I believe 12, 6, 12, was the measurements for that. So if you don't remember, make sure you go on Amazon and get yourself one of those bags. Shareem is actually showing it right now. If you on gallery mode, go ahead and get yourself one. Why? Because when you get there and you got one of those purses on you or something like that, and they don't let you in, you're gonna have to take your purse back. And you don't want to go back after you come all the way to the event, right? So just be prepared, right? No need to get frustrated with anything. Just go there prepared, be ready, get ready to have a great time. Make sure you get your cameras. Make sure, like I'm gonna do with my phone, make sure if you need to purge your phone from certain videos and things of that nature so that you have space, so that you can create your content, you want to do so at that point. You want to be camera ready almost at all times. You want to be camera ready. You never know when the camera's going to be on. You never know when you're going to need somebody to actually speak up for you, or you have somebody speak up for you, right? You might run into a Dr. China and you might ask her some questions. That's an opportunity where you're going to better be camera ready and make sure that the questions that you ask, right? When you ask these phenomenal leaders, make sure that you're prepared with your questions. You want to be intentional with your questions. You want to be intentional with the opportunity that's being afforded. This is an opportunity for us just to get together, laugh, relax, just to build further rapport from where we're at right now. So again, make sure if you have any guests, you want to make sure you bring them to the opportunity call tonight. For those who have not gained access to the sniper chat, make sure you let me know so that we can get you inside of that group. About 8 o'clock in the morning, between 8 and 9 o'clock, they've been dropping trades coming directly from the US 30. And listen, I'm not going to count. I'm not counting the pips, but they have been pretty successful. No, past profits doesn't guarantee future results. So I'm not giving any specific numbers or anything like that. But you want to make sure that you take those trades so that you can grow your account, right? Whether it's a demo account or a live account, it doesn't matter. You want to build up the muscle, build up the skill set, and build up your results so that you can tell the story and you bring credibility and validity to what's being offered in our establishment. All right. With that being said, I believe I got all of the messages and notifications out. Oh, if you have guests that will be on any or have been on any one of the opportunity calls or any further opportunity calls while they're doing this Rich U Open Enrollment, please let us know so that we can add them to the exclusive chat group that Rich University has for open enrollment, where they're given the secret sauce on great immense opportunities. Okay. This is an exclusive private group. So if you don't know, now you know, right? So real quick. Let me go ahead and I know Shareem's excited about this because we seen this yesterday. Now, before I commence, grab a pen and paper. Get ready to take some notes. And I want you to ask yourself, how does your significance show up? How does your significance show up? I want you to think about that when we're going over the subject that we're getting ready to cover. Again, that's how does your significance show up? And I want you to remember this. Oh, good. My brother's showing up just in time. All right. Again, one more time. How does your significance show up? Nolan, if you hadn't already, go ahead and get yourself a pen and pad. I want you to take notes. Take notes. How does your significance show up? And I want you to write, define imposter syndrome. Define imposter syndrome. She said, please send that. Did I say the T word? Did I say the T word, Elizabeth? Oh, we
I
get.
ain't even hear that one.
I don't know.
And I'm paying attention because I'm writing notes.
I I see her.
See?
I see her in
She
the
not even
chat.
up here. She gone.
Yeah, she's
Oh, there she
back.
goes.
She's
She's going
back.
back.
I'm bringing her back in before I play the video. I'm letting everybody get in. Hey,
Hey,
Elizabeth,
what's up, family? Love y'all.
what up? What up? What up?
Talk to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, listen, real quick, even before I put this on, Jasmine, you did a wonderful job last night again, hopping on that nightclub with Logic in them. What's going on? Talk to me. You did a wonderful job hopping on last night and just giving and lending your voice and lending your assistance and lending your knowledge. That's how you get in front of the room. That's how you stand out. Okay. Keep on doing that. Keep on doing that. I guarantee you when we get to Orlando, they're going to be looking for you. I ain't just talking about Logic and them. I'm talking about each and every one of those people that are on that call. They're going to be looking for you. They're going to ask you questions. Be prepared and be ready. Be fully engaged. Elizabeth too. I seen Joyce too. That's right. Lighting the chat up. I've been seeing all that. Keep showing up. Keep showing up. So again, one more time before
I'm sorry, Dre. Wanted to give a shout out to Joyce. I see her posting so much more. Your posts are getting better. They look great. Just know that we're watching, and it doesn't go unnoticed. You know, several people always did their posts, which was Elizabeth and Jasmine, and Fourth the Great. They've always doing they posts. Cynthia, certain people always do their posts. So when somebody starts to do more posting, guys, the only thing I ask is let's help them. Let's show them that we see them. Let's write underneath their page. Let's support each other because it really makes a difference and it draws other people to their page. So I just wanted to say that. Thank you, Joy, for allowing me to share.
I'm glad you shared that. I'm glad you brought that up. She's right. She's right. Joyce has been tearing that chat up and commenting on the Facebook pages. I think I seen on my IG page too, as well. Congratulations. Keep on doing it. Keep on bringing more. Keep on bringing more. We love that. We love that. We love that. We love that. And we're going to continue to show up for you too as well. All right. So let me get back into this. How does your significance show up? And I want you to think about how do you define imposter syndrome? So sit back. It's about a 6-minute video. Enjoy. Take notes. You're in for a treat. Welcome. First Lady, Michelle Obama.
Mrs. Obama, could we quickly touch on imposter syndrome? Because I know it's something you have spoken a little bit about. There was a question from one of our leaders from Indonesia, feeling you're not good enough.
Yeah. How many people, this imposter syndrome, does everybody know what we're talking about when we say imposter? It's like,
I don't really know that term.
Well, particularly for minorities, there's this feeling like because you've been told that you're not good enough, that when you're in a room, you're wondering, well, how did I get here if I've been told I'm not good enough? Women feel it oftentimes because society says you shouldn't be doing that, right? So you feel like an imposter in your own life. You feel like, especially if you've achieved success or you're in rooms that you're not supposed to be in because society has told you that, you think, maybe somebody is going to discover that I shouldn't be here, right? That's imposter syndrome. Does that make sense?
It sure does.
So what I tell people is, okay, and all I can do is tell you this because imposter syndrome it's a thing in your head. And, it's just like self-confidence. It's just like, it's like any internal characteristic. Much of it is what you practice telling yourself, and if you've heard that you're not good enough, that's what you're practicing. I'm just here to tell you it is not true. You wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be doing what you're doing if you didn't belong here. And I also have the advantage of, and I say this not with any level of arrogance or lack of humility, but I have been at so many powerful tables now, right? I've been at, I've worked in every sector. I've been a lawyer at a big law firm. I've worked at an academic university, been associate dean. I've been the vice president in community development at a hospital. I've been, I run a nonprofit organization. I have worked in the government. I worked with the mayor in the city of Chicago. I worked in the Department of Planning and Development. I was First Lady of the United States of America. I've seen these seats. I've served on corporate boards. I've done it, not all, but I've done a lot. And I'm just telling you, there are a lot of people who don't belong there. And every table, I thought it was me. And after a little bit, I was like, nope, it's him. It's this guy who's sitting here talking.
But they
all
act
the time.
so well. They act like they belong.
That's because they've been told they belong there. They don't. But there's a presumption. That's what I'm saying. It's in his head too. He's like, I belong here. And I'm like, no, you don't. So all I can tell you is that the person sitting next to you was told, based on nothing, that he belongs there. And you were told that you weren't. Both things are wrong, oftentimes. So what I had to learn to do for myself was being, age helps you with imposter syndrome. So I'm 55 now, and I've seen it. I've been waiting to be as bad as people told me I would be, I've been waiting for when I was going to fall and mess up and fail. I've been waiting because that's what they said. I didn't belong at Princeton, right? I applied to Princeton University. My college counselor said, that's school's too much for you. Well, I applied anyway. I got in. I was waiting for it to be hard and for everybody else to be so much smarter. They weren't. They weren't. They were just told that they belong there. Same thing was true when I applied to Harvard Law School. Maybe I shouldn't be there. Got there. Nope. They're not any smarter than me. So with all the practice of just going into the room that you weren't supposed to be in and being there and occupying those seats and just doing you and knowing that your thoughts are just as relevant, your experiences are just as important, your insight is just as valuable, so that you will share it and use it and practice being there. That's the work you have to do if you feel like an imposter, because he isn't giving up his seat easily. He isn't going to just say, oh, I understand you don't feel like you belong here. Well, let me make room for you and sit you down and tell you the things you need to hear. They're not going to do that for you, because a lot of times they don't even want you there, even when they need you there. So you can't count on somebody else giving you the self-confidence. That's not how we work, And that's why you all are important, because you're not going to do that for some kid in your life. You're going to make sure that they never feel like an imposter. You're going to help them practice a different set of messages so they aren't sitting here wondering where they belong in places where we need them. We need women and diverse minds and people who think differently and have different religious beliefs, because truth and the right answer comes from diversity of experiences. You're needed at those tables. So you can't sit there wondering whether you belong, because you'll waste your time in those seats and you'll hold your voice back and you won't be able to make change because you're waiting for somebody to tell you that you belong. I'm telling you, you belong. Practice a different set of messages.
Thank you for saying that. So important.
That was good.
All right.
I love that. Yay!
When they showed that yesterday in our study, it was a bit of a tear jerker for some people, right? And it's a reality check for others. How often do you see yourself in that imposter syndrome phase, right? Is it a matter of age, time? How do you overcome that imposter syndrome from what Ms. Michelle Obama was stating, right? first things first, let's identify it. What is imposter syndrome? Anybody? What did you get from that as what imposter syndrome is?
What
So-
you tell yourself.
Right.
What you said, Elizabeth?
I said, what you tell yourself. It'll be like, oh, I'm not, like she said, oh, I'm not good enough. But yet, when you practice to walk in those rooms where you don't think you belong, just taking that chance, taking that risk, just believing in yourself when nobody else believes in you, it helps you build up the experience and the courage to speak in the different rooms. And it's not so about, oh, I don't belong here. It's more so about, yeah, I do. Like, tell yourself you do so you can show up like you do. Because when you tell yourself that you don't, then you show up like you don't. Like she was saying, not speaking up, mumbling, just tucking your head back, be in the background, like PR, and when you're supposed to be the CEO. So what's the point of that? But yeah, that's what I got from that.
That's right. Good one. Good one, Elizabeth. Good one. Anybody else? Anybody else want to chime in or add to that? Sauce.
I took it as my notes were do not allow others to project their opinions onto you. If you believe it, it will manifest. So if you believe that they're telling you that you're not good enough, it will manifest itself by, like what Liz said, your actions, and how you move. So definitely, like Liz took the words right out of my mouth. But just to add on that part, don't allow others to project their opinions, their views on.
I agree. Anybody else? Anybody else want to chime in?
Yeah, basically,
Go ahead, Fourth. Nate, you got next.
well, when she said that some people don't belong there, they get put in a position where they don't necessarily belong due to privilege or whatever else they get that position for. And sometimes they're intimidated by you because they see something in you that's not in them. So, and the fact that you don't have that belief that you belong there, you kind of get them a little validation on their thought to try to, attempt to push you off your pivot.
That's right. That's right.
I'm gonna go ahead and drop that in the chat. Go ahead, let me know when you.
Go ahead, Nate. Good one.
I fixed that before it even went out.
Yeah, he was fixing it.
He did.
Before you can even fix your lips.
What's up, good people? How y'all feeling, man?
What's going on, good brother Nate?
Hey, brother, I ain't making no noise, man. Just grateful to be in the number, brother. Grateful to be in the number.
Glad to see
I
you.
would say, man, hey, man, appreciate you, brother. I would just say, man, like, understanding that when I think of an imposter, right, that's somebody that walks into a space or somebody that occupies a space where they don't fit in, they don't belong. They came unannounced, they came without an invite.
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes the thing that stops us from being invited is showing up, right? Like, if you, it's like, she was saying, like, there are people that sit at tables that have been invited, but they don't belong there. But there are also people that belong at tables and never show up, even if they receive an invitation.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like you say all the time, like, never miss out on the opportunity you qualify for. Right? And I think that, like, I know that the hardest thing for anybody to do is to talk positive to themselves. That's a learned habit. That's something that most of us have never been taught to do. When you really think about it, most of us, the first word we ever heard was no. No, don't touch that. No, don't do that. No, you can't have that. And you constantly feeding somebody no, then that becomes a way of thinking, right? Like that ingrains in you. And so when I think about imposter and like being an imposter or an imposter syndrome, I'm really literally thinking about knowing that the only person that stops me from walking into any space that I rightfully was born to occupy is me. And if I walk into the room and it make you uncomfortable, well, that's really not my problem. And wait till I start talking and getting to work, and you think you're uncomfortable now, oh, you about to lose your mind. So that's my 2 cents on it, brother. I just think, imposter syndrome again is just not being aware or not being aware of the fact that you belong and it doesn't require somebody's check mark or approval. It's all up to what you think about yourself in that situation.
I agree. Anybody else? Joyce, how about you?
Okay, I like the part where she actually was saying that how she would look around and thinking that was her, and actually it wasn't her, it was him. So that's what got to me, because I mean, sometimes you do think it's you because everybody else is acting or being some other type of way than what you are, but actually it's not you, it's them. So that's what I got out of it.
That's a good note. I'm glad you brought that one up. Shireen?
I just wanted to say that you had the gentleman that just came in, and I just wanted us to kind of go back a little bit so he can know where we are. And we just watched a YouTube video with Barack Obama's wife. And she gave us the definition of imposter syndrome. And it was something that we got out of it when we went to church. Dre, so we're asking everybody their opinion about it. Dre, I don't want to go because we had that big discussion, and I want to give everybody a chance to kind of,
right,
because I know the definition, right? So I wanted to give them a chance to get it, but I just wanted to let him know.
Yeah. So we was watching Michelle Obama, and she was talking about imposter syndrome. Marcus, when you get a chance, take a look at I'm gonna post a video inside the group after this meeting. Basically, she was talking about imposter syndrome. Sometimes we feel like we don't belong in the rooms that we belong in. We disqualify our own selves when in all actuality, or other people disqualify us from being in the building, so we may not show up, or we do show up in rooms that people tell us that we don't belong in, and then we come to find out that, yep, I do belong in here. Doesn't matter. Yep, I do belong here. So it's a matter of imposter syndrome. You actually have control over this syndrome. It's the thing that you tell yourself and the thing that you believe. If you believe that you're a duck and you're a lame and you're not knowledgeable, or you have no way to be able to equate yourself to somebody that may be more significant, that you may deem more significant than you, right? You feel smaller in a room of big people. If you allow yourself to feel that way, then you're going to be that person. That's imposter syndrome. Yeah. So to move on real quick, because I don't want to hog all the time on this particular subject.
I'm sorry, one more thing, Dre, before you move on. I didn't know you wasn't going to give the rest of them a chance, but I just wanted to say one thing that stuck out for me, and I mean, I took this to work with me today, was just emotional. I was just emotional. Was that when you sabotage yourself when you think that when you're thinking in this way, right? I'm not good enough. You walk in a room, you still don't feel good enough, right? You don't even want to share your opinion. And I saw myself through that whole situation, because I have my moments when I don't feel good enough. Oh, everybody loves Dre, right? And I don't feel that my voice or my opinion matter, or I'm not intelligent enough. That's the biggest one that a lot of people struggle with. So you won't say your matter. And when reality, if you're a child of God, you are significant. You do matter. And that's just understanding that you do. Right? And being around the right people that's going to help allow you to see your importance and how big you are, how important you are. And so this did so much for me. I didn't realize how much this God put this in the forefront of me, because I was anticipating a good word yesterday when I wanted to hear this good word when I went to church. And so this subject It's so important because sometimes you think you're strong. Sometimes other people think you're strong because you speak up. Inside, that person does not really feel that strong. So I could look at Dr. China and say, oh my God, she has those moments? Absolutely. Everybody have those moments when they feel insignificant and go through this imposter syndrome based off of the people you're around, right? Because some people that have so much money can make you feel like you don't belong in that space. Right? Some people got fancy cars and you go see their house and you know you live in a project and you're like, oh, I'm supposed to be here. I thought about a call that Dr. China and them had when they went to go see our CEO's house, and they was talking about all the houses and all the stuff, and they was like, you know, while I'm here. Like they didn't belong there. The same way he got it is the same way God can give it to us if we believe. And that's the key point, is believing that you deserve those things. So I just wanted to share that part. Thank you, Jay.
Welcome. I was just recalling a time. Remember when we first started doing this, Shareem, and we had to do opportunity calls, and we rely upon our mentor to do the opportunity calls so much. And then it got to a certain point where we were no longer just making phone calls and inviting people, but we had to actually step up, or I had to actually step up and do an opportunity call. I remember the first time I had to do an opportunity call, I had to write the whole thing out. I was fearful. How do I look? How do I sound? I don't want to sound like a fool in front of all of these people. I don't know none of these guests, and I just don't want to sound crazy on this thing. So instead of me not doing it or not showing up, making some excuse, oh, at the last minute, I can't show up because of such and such, making up an excuse, I chose to just go through. And however I had to go through, I had to do it. The first couple of presentations, I had to script it out. I wouldn't come off the camera. I would turn the camera off and I would go through the slides and I would read the presentation. But that required me from days before. I had to, all right, this is the next slide. This is the next slide. This is what I'm going to say. And then eventually it got to a point where I no longer needed the slide. I started doing it so much that, man, this thing is off the top of the head. Now I got it. I don't need no paper. Turn the camera on. I'm ready. My mentor would say, turn that camera on, Dre. After a while, I couldn't hide behind the camera anymore. I had to be visible because I wanted the clicker. I wanted to get richer. So I got to be the one in front of the room. I wanted to be that guy. That's how I got in the room, by continuously showing up to all the different presentations, by showing up to all the specific meetings. So when my name is mentioned, everybody know who that guy is because he's always on the call, right? I say that to say, I didn't always feel that I belonged in the room. I still sometimes don't always feel like I belong in the room. Like I know I feel like I belong in this room because I'm amongst I feel like my brothers and sisters. But when I go to a different space, sometimes I don't feel like I always belong in that room. But you'll probably never see it. Shareem always say, I don't see you. You're always confident. I'm not. I put on my imposter mask. I do it so much so I feel like I do belong here. I'm cocky. I tell my one of the things I told my wife when we started dating, I told her, I'm the best who ever done it. And you're the best who ever did it. Eventually she started telling herself she's the best who ever did it. And I tell her, you know who I am. I'm the best who ever done it. Do you know inside of me, I did not feel like I was the best that ever done it. I'm shorter than everybody. I feel like I get passed over. I didn't feel like I was the loudest voice. So I would speak up louder. I would change the tonality of my voice and make it rougher and stronger and harder. I would practice it over and over again. When I learned by recording music, when I used to do my rap, recording music. And one of my last songs that I wrote is a song that I wrote. It's called I don't think it's I've Been Me. No, it's Back on My Square. I call it Back on My Square. I'm on my business. But I said in there, I said, I stopped me from me achieving possible. I stopped me from me achieving possible because at that particular time, I knew it was something that I was going through in life. I felt like I kept closing my own doors. It was me taking accountability for my own actions. I didn't feel like I belonged in a room. I didn't feel my significance. So which leads to where I'm getting ready to go is, how does your significance show up? I just told you how my significance show up. I will fake it until I make it. And I'm not saying fake it like in a cornball way. I'm saying do it scared. That's what my mentor told me. Do it scared. You just got to do it. Do it scared. You scared to do it? Just do it. And the more that you do it, the better it gets, the easier it gets. People don't believe you because you're not doing it enough. You're not putting yourself out there enough. You're not showing the progression. People need to see your progression. As people see your progression and they cheer you on, you get more encouraged. You get more emboldened to step out in front of the room. And now they're whispering about you in a positive way, as opposed to the other way. You know why your business is a little business? Because you treat it as a little business. You keep it quiet. You keep it to yourself. You feel like, I'm just not good enough to present the information. In all actuality, God gave you the opportunity to have this information provided to you, and you decided to pick up the phone and say, hey, look, or you decided to get on the chat and, hey, look, I'm interested in this information. You just said the key word. One key word changed your life. Interested, excuse me, 2 words. I'm interested. I'm ready. Eat now. I'm hungry. 2 words can change your life. It signifies to the enemy, go. But the enemy wants you to stay. He wants to minimize your significance. He doesn't want you to show up. So when I asked you in the very beginning to write that down, how does your significance show up? It shows up by you going, by you doing, by you saying, I'm ready, I'm interested, I want to know. How does your significance show up? I wrote this one thing down and I'm going to turn it over real quick. I'm going to say 1, stop disqualifying yourself. Everybody, stop disqualifying yourself. If you ever feel like that's what you're doing with yourself, I'm telling me right now, Andre, Lavelle, stop disqualifying yourself. You qualify for everything that God allows you to touch, for every ear that God allows your voice to hear. You qualify, Andre. Not Dre, not Bread Talker, but Andre Joseph Lavelle Jr. You qualify. And I need you to say this to yourselves. Say, Joyce White, you qualify. Jasmine Belcher, you qualify. Damian Thompson, not Fourth the Great, Damian Thompson, you qualify. Nolan Elsie, you qualify. Marcus Dawson, you qualify. Cynthia White, you qualify. Elizabeth, or Khadijah, whoever you talk to, Brown, you qualify. Samuel Davis, not Sam Davis, but Samuel Davis, you qualify. Do not disqualify yourself from the opportunity that you do qualify for. And last but not least, significance is about your impact upon others. So when you think about significance and how you show up, how does your significance, identify what your significance is when you show up? And I want you to recognize how your significance impacts others. I don't care how small you think it is. Because that small significance that the impact that you put upon somebody else, you bring in their lives. I don't care if you're helping out a child of a child. I don't care if you're helping out your grandchild. I don't care if you're helping out the friend of a friend. I don't care. However small it is, I want you to identify what that is. And if you feel courage, bold enough, speak on it here. If you don't, No, I'm not even gonna take that off the table. Write it to yourself. If you feel bold enough, speak on that. Like I just told you, what I disqualified myself for. In my mind, I disqualified myself from a lot of opportunities. But when you recognize that you stopped you from achieving possible, then lock and load. I stopped me from me achieving possible, lock and load. And get ready to go. So.
Can I also show one more thing, Dre, before you go?
Absolutely.
And you know, a lot of times other people see what you don't see in you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I'm gonna just give you a quick example of something that just happened to me today. And now that we're talking about it, I'm recognizing it. So when I went to take my son to school today, he had an after school program where they had, he had to go to each section of his class until he finished each section, he was locked in. So they called it the escape house. So he had to do some reading. And then one led to, you know, completing that. And then the next one led to completing that. And the kids, we were at the last square. And the kids were there. And so they was like, I don't understand. And automatically, I always, naturally, God just, so I'm talking to the kids. And one of the parents said, are you a teacher? I said, no, I'm not one of the teachers here. I'm just a parent. I just know how to deal with kids. She was like, because it's your voice. It's power in your voice. I don't know if God told her to say that to me. But at that point, I heard my significance in that present. And I can only recognize that because we talking about this topic. Because knowledge is power, right? We're going to start now that we know and we're talking about this topic. We're going to start looking at moments in our lives and see how significant God wants us to know that we are. And so I'm sorry, I'm giving everybody else another opportunity, but when Dre was talking, that's what came to my mind to share.
I'm glad you're sharing. Sharing is caring. Anyone else? Last but not least, I meant to mention Nathaniel Fryer, you qualify. I left your name out. I said everybody else's name. But anybody else? So
I just wanted to say something because everything y'all what we're talking about right now, like you said, Shireen, you know, it is God. It's nothing by coincidence. I don't believe in coincidence today, but you know, it is what we tell ourselves. You know, I was listening to Pastor Strickland, her husband. She's from IM, Sean Strickland.
Yes.
And I truly enjoyed their teaching. And they was talking about unlimited beliefs and self-unlimited beliefs, right? Self-limited beliefs. That's what they was talking about. He was sharing, I think it was on Tuesday. So this is kind of coinciding with what you're talking about right now. So as I'm sitting here and I'm just listening, I'm like, okay, God, here we go again this week. It's almost Friday. It's what you tell yourself. Is what you tell yourself. And you know, one thing that I did get from what Michelle was saying, that the diversity, everybody being different, is important as well. So it's not like I have to do it your way, or do it Jasmine way, or do it Shireen way. You know, everybody has their own unique style or thing, or way of doing the thing. But when we start looking at someone else and comparing ourselves with another, and we see them doing it with ease, that's what makes us feel like we can't do it, or we're not able to do it, because we just need to, I believe, just believe, like you said, we self-sabotage ourselves, Shireen, you were saying, because we start comparing to someone else and thinking because they doing it with ease, or seeing their style, we need to come up with our own. You know, we can use some of the tools or things that they do, but just be yourself. But when you don't know who you are, I mean, truly know your true purpose, I believe that's when you don't know how to be yourself. So it's like you really need to do the self-talk, just do that self-development work. Like that is so important. I feel like even in this environment, this setting that we're in, with marketing, because we do have to go on lives and we do have to talk to people, and we might get a no, and that no can do something to you mentally if you always, like Nate was saying, you always was told no, you can't do that, no, and that can do something to your self-esteem. So it's just about, like you said, Drake, practicing it. Like everyone said something good, like just practicing it every day, telling yourself that I can, and I don't have to do it like that person does it,
right.
And that's what I do to myself. I tell myself I don't have to do it like this person, because I'm not that person. I have to do it what's fitting for me and what my style and who I am as a person, and just be myself. And if you love me, you do, and if you don't, all is well too. As long as I love myself, and embrace my own self, and I think that's just so important to do what we need to do to build, to build. So she said diversity. That's what Michelle was talking about. So I just believe that being different is okay. It's okay. It's okay.
It is. It is.
I
I like that part. You gotta I like that part you said where you don't have to, basically you don't have to be afraid of, just because you don't know who you are as a person, it doesn't disqualify you. But until you learn a style, sometimes it's good to follow somebody until you develop that skill set. It's definitely something I learned to do. Right? By being in this place, by even starting to have our own team huddles and stuff like that, or having the courage to do that and not knowing if anybody's going to show up. That's always a bit of a fear or a deterrent. But what I do know is all you got to do is be the one that continuously show up. If you be the one that show up, there's going to be other people that show up for and with you. Until you learn how to develop your own style, to learn how to develop systems, you take a little bit over here, you mix up a little John C. Maxwell with a David Immunitier, with a little bit of Dr. Jewel Tankard, with a little bit of Garrett Morrison. Yeah, I mean Garrett Morrison, with a little Gary Roberts, with a little bit of Logic Mix, with a little bit of Randy Webb, with a little bit of Wanda Webb. You put with a little Christopher Terry, with a little bit of with a little Neno Torres, with a lot of little Justin Owens, and all those phenomenal leaders that have been a part of this wonderful journey. And I'm gonna put this one in here too. Take a little bit of some Carl Wilkins, right? So I got to put my guy in here because he started this for me, right? You take a little bit of here and there, sugar and spice, and everything's nice. Until you learn how to develop your own skill, you just got to show up. That's how you get to there. You can't get to there because you ain't dealing with here. All right. So, man, anybody else want to chime in real quick before because we still gonna get this Atomic Habits, but this was a good subject. I just could not let it slide. It was in my soul. I had to get it out. And I'm glad this was the place for me to be able to do that. I need to go live though. Anybody?
Quick ad.
Talk to me.
I'm glad you said Damian Thompson.
That's right.
Because it's a backstory to how I came up with Fourth the Great. I had a brother and a couple homeboys. I went to school with a couple Damians. My name was spelt that particular way. Only Damian I know spelt that way.
It is unique.
Yeah, being that I didn't have the confidence when I was growing up, I came up with the stage name, Fourth Letter the Great, after Alexander the Great, because he was a great warrior. So I took Fourth Letter the Great and I chopped it Fourth the Great. So a lot of people, they call me Fourth. And it's like, it kind of puts you at a superstar level because it's a unique name. And I had a lot of people ask me, what does that mean? So instead of me having to go up to people and talk to them, they would come up to me. And I had fourth letter on my plates, 4THLETER. You know, I got stopped so many times as people ask me, what does that mean? And it simply means D, Damien the Great.
That's right. I like that.
But I felt more confident as fourth than I felt as Damien. So sometimes you got to create that person to become that person.
Rich Man Cannons and the bread talker. I understand totally. That's what makes you become that person.
And that was my stage name.
Mm-hmm. That's what I did.
Dre, tell him your stage name.
All right, so first stage name, we go with Rich Man Cannons. And that's, you know, my rapping name. Google it, right? That name is more about confidence. I remember there was a football player named Rich Gannon. He was played on the Los Angeles Raiders later on in his career. He was in his 30s, one of the older guys. But I used to admire how he was much older than all the other quarterbacks at the time. He was an underdog, and he used to throw the thing sideways. Like Patrick Mahomes throws it sideways. Well, if you go back and watch a video of Rich Gannon, he throws it this way. And it was at a time where I was getting ready to go to, the Rich Man came when I moved to Virginia. So instead of saying Richmond, I was like, Rich Man sounds all right. So that's where that name came from. And Cannons, because I was always a loose cannon at that age and stage. But when the time came and I got into this business, you know, I was pulling myself away from rapping, right? Because I'm like, man, I'm older. I need to find something. I need to find another passion. I need to find something else I'm going to love and really love. Like I love rap, like I love hip hop, like I love music, like I'm a studio rat. I need to be in a space like that, but not in the music, because the music I kind of was taking me away from, you know, who I needed to be as a man and a father and husband and everything, the mature guy I needed to be. So fast forward, got here in this business, and, you know, somewhere along us, we was looking for a name for our business, right? Because, you know, we taught, listen, you know, learn how to develop your own team, you know, develop a company. I was like, yo, Shereen, like, we need to make a business out of this, and we need to come up with a name. And she would throw a few names. I'm like, nah, I don't feel it. I don't feel it. I don't feel it. And then one day I just came up with Bread Talk. I think I heard it from somewhere, maybe, I don't know, but Bread Talk. I was like, man, that sound close to Rich Man. That sound like me. That sound like Rich University. It relates. I am a bread talker. And if anybody from up top, they understand what bread talking is about. It's about money. It's about opportunity. It's about growth. Bread talk is about bread, money, economic growth, empowerment, strength, build, bridge, and empower. And that's why I learned to come up with all that stuff. And then we just kept saying bread talk.
Bread is the word.
And bread is the word in the Bible.
The word,
right? Where's your bread? You got your bread? I got my bread right here.
Yeah.
I started getting more into this. Right? I needed to wing myself off of street stuff and get myself into a better house.
You'll make me cry.
That's where Bread Talk came from. That was the idea, man. I got a chance to actually break it down to all of y'all, but yeah, that's what you guys are a part of. The idea and the dream of it, and just the concept of what Bread Talk is. And when I say Bread Talk or Bread Talker, it's like everybody here is a bread talker. Joyce is a bread talker. Jasmine's a bread talker. Dane Fourth is a bread talker. Sen, you bread talker. Liz, bread talker. Everybody here that's a part of or has been a part of our journey is a bread talker. Why? Because think about it. Spiritually connected. We're mentally connected. We're all here going forward. We're going towards not just money. We're going towards the opportunity with the empowerment to be able to help others. And we're still learning on the journey. We're still learning. We are incomplete right now. I don't think we'll ever be fully complete. But we're going to push their limits to get to that perfection. We're going to push the limits to get there. That's what Bread Talk is about. So when, you know, it starts saying Bread Talker, it just fit my persona too as well, because I'm a little charismatic. And I'm a little flashy a little bit too, you know. I
Yeah.
shake dice, you know. I get busy. You know what I mean? I get to the bag, I get to the street, and I get back to the
Right.
I know how to. That's what that came out. So
I
Bread
think
Talker just
I
sticks.
think I learned
People
too,
plus
Dre.
one quick. People remember the name Bread Talker better than they remember Andre or Dre Lavelle. They're gonna remember Bread Talker, and next thing they know, I know the name Dre Lavelle. Hip hop taught me that though.
Real quick, Dre, I just wanted to say one last thing. I remember, guys, I don't know, you guys don't remember when we had the Armada. When we had the Armada on the car, because Dre like big trucks, period. Anything small is not Dre. Dre's a big everything, right? And we had the Armada, and on his place, I know if you remember, he had rich men, white, black, Chinese, I don't care where we are. People were saying, who's the rich man? Everywhere we went, that was conversation. That plate was conversation. And so to me, that's another way of showing significance, right? You see the vision, you write the vision, and you make it plain.
Yep, that's it.
So,
That's it.
I never forget Rich Man, because it's always Rich Man. But the Bread Talker is the next phase. All my guys, they call me Rich, or they call me, you know, Cannons. But it signifies the next stage, the next level where we headed to.
I love it. That's right. Speak it. That's right. That's
y'all got the real story. I never showed this to everybody like this.
I'm over here tearing up for real.
Yeah.
I got tears in my eyes. I'm telling you, man. To hear that, just you don't even know what it did to me just from minutes ago. Yo, that's what I'm talking about. That's it. That's it.
Yo, Rich Man Cannon, you still got bars?
Absolutely.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah, I'll show you. I'll send you a little something.
Him and Fourth got bars.
No,
I'm about to say no, he didn't. still got do Jay-Z still rap?
Yo, let me find out one of these days. We need to book a studio session.
I want
Jasmine
just
said,
for the hell of
"Great,
it.
when we doing that?"
That ambiance you had me cooking in it for hours, man.
Look,
I'm the music manager.
I can get
we need a bread talk anthem.
Yeah, I produce and
with it. Let's do it in Florida. Who's in Florida?
Let's do it, because I'm with it. I got a line.
Oh man, look at this love.
Cameron. We can all have a line.
Hey, I didn't know, Nolan. I didn't know you was a producer.
Yeah, he's managing.
I diddle dabble in a little music. I'm a drummer, so you know I love music.
Jay-Z did say
that's how me and Dre kind of hooked up, because his man and my man, we used to rap together in the Navy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you rap too?
So when Dre came on board, yeah, he took my place. So to say, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Full circle, man. Me and Nolan go back to 2000. Full circle, full circle. So, not to get too far off, I definitely enjoyed that. You know, Fourth, I thank you for giving me the alley-oop, or giving me the courage or giving me the thought to even mention that.
Testimony.
Yeah, man. That's the real name. And I love that you can define the reason for your own name, right? I think that's a good one for each and every one of us.
Yeah, baby.
How would you define your name? If you had somebody had to ask you, what's your name? Don't just tell them your name. I want you to also think about in your mind, like, what is my name? What does it mean to me? You ain't got to come up with the Bread Talk or Fourth Grade or add any, sub names on.
I'm heavily sent. I'm heavily sent.
You are heavily sent. All I do, IG is right there.
That's my name. That's my name. Heavily sent.
Define it. Even write it down. Remind yourself what's your name. What does it qualify for? What is the significance of your name?
And Elizabeth and Jasmine, what are y'all texting each other? I know, I can tell. You're both laughing. I want to know.
They getting on me about me eating.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's why I kept laughing, because she kept doing this.
Man, these celery sticks and this ranch is good right now. It's hitting.
uh-huh.
Hey,
He was talking about me last week. Now look at you.
that's discipline.
Mhm.
That's Riz. We did make Sin. We made Sin come off that camera. She's like, but I'm eating.
I was gonna eat now, but I said no, because
Wow.
say so.
But
I'm
she
still
eating, but
participating.
she's still on camera. Shout out to
Oh,
you,
man.
Jasmine.
All right. So real quick, I still want to, I know we running late. Do y'all want to go into y'all still want to go into Atomic Habits? So she said yes. All right, this is good. Is
The
this
market
good?
not ready for me yet anyway, so come on, let's
It's
go.
up to Elizabeth.
All right, we go.
Elizabeth, you ready to share?
Yeah, so
All right.
I can get to my salmon bites. Yes, come
All
on,
right.
let's share.
Cool. So just to end this one right now, just want you to remember, how does your significance show up, right? You define your imposter syndrome, right?
Mhm.
And how does your significance impact others? How does your significance impact others? And last but not least, stop disqualifying yourself and stop missing opportunities that you qualified for. Give yourself more credit than it's worth. Doesn't matter what anybody else says. It's all about what you say. It's all about what God tells you. Are you a listener of what he says, or are you a listener of what the enemy says? You qualify you. You stop you from you achieving possible. Just remember that. That being said, let's go ahead and turn this call over to the greatest. It's Elizabeth Brown. Khadijah.
Hey y'all, what up though? So I was just about to grab my cookies, but you know it's fine.
What up, though? Say it one more time. I love it.
Let's go. All right, so we are diving into chapter 2, y'all. So just by a show of hands, so I know how far and how deep to go into it, who have read at least the first 5 pages? Okay, cool.
I'm on chapter 13. That count?
Excuse me. We talking about 2. We talking about 2.
Hey, I got a little hit of the A-ball.
Ain't
that's
nothing
a
wrong
good
with that,
thing
but
for
do
me.
you remember chapter 2?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Just wanted you to be able to participate. So
Just so happen I have my book in the car, so I'll follow along with you.
okay, cool. Yes, to traveling with the book. All right, so not to stall anymore, but just to dive in, this chapter is really breaking down on how to really identify and shape our identity, really, because if we don't know who we are, then how can we create the habits that we want, right? So we got to really break this down, and this goes into 3 different layers. The first layer is your outcome. This is where you want to change things, such as your weight. Maybe your hair a little bit, because now you're feeling like you're getting midlife crisis, so you feel like you want to do a little spiky little thing, you know? Different things in different ways and want to change, such as just eating healthier, like Jazz, losing weight, praying, getting faith up, you know what I'm saying? So different things like that. And this is where we associate ourselves with our goal setting. This is where your goal setting comes from, because you want to change those things, you got to set a goal to get them changed. The second part, the second level of it is the process. This is where your habits and system combine. So this is where you create your system to make sure that you maintain your habits. And this is where we build the most, this is where our habits are built at the most. The third level is identity, changing our beliefs. So just like Michelle Obama said, this literally reverts right back to that video. What you tell yourself is what you believe, and what you believe is what you act on. Okay, so we really have to sit down and really pay attention to what we tell ourselves, because people talk all day and probably don't even remember what they talked about 2 minutes ago. So it's like, oh, I can do this, but yet when you get in your house, you're telling yourself, well, why should I do this? That just comes from the belief of not even thinking that you can do it. So you're making up an excuse, so you feel you're looking up an excuse so you can feel like that's a validated reason. But you yet to look at yourself and be like, I'm making up this reason / excuse because technically I'm afraid. But we don't sit down and really dig that deep with our thoughts. We don't sit down and really identify what we are afraid of. So we know what we are afraid of so we can walk forward and accomplish them. You can't live in fear. Fear and faith is not in the same language or the same word or the same sentence. It's called faith over fear. That's the only way you're going to get that in a sentence. So if somebody tell you that in a different way, I need you to go ahead and hop on the first flight smoking, because you need to get away from them as fast as you can. All right. So our outcome, the book states, our outcomes are about what you get. Processes are about what you do, and identity is about what you believe. So that brings me into, if everybody read the book, you remember the smoker example, right? Somebody bring you're a smoker, right? Somebody bring you a cigarette, you be like, nah, not today. You leaving room for tomorrow, for the next week, and the next month to be habits of smoking. Then another person come like, oh no, I'm not a smoker at all. Like, I'm good. That's the thought of, I'm really not a smoker and I'm not doing this anymore. I'm putting a stamp to it, like this is done, right? So we gotta really, in the book, and I just took some quick little summary notes from the book, just to really break down and summarize what I'm speaking about. True behavior change is an identity change. The only reason why we stick to habits is because we see it as a part of our identity. Our identity is what we do daily. Y'all get that? Our identity is what we do daily. We watch TV daily. We like to binge watch, we being lazy. But if we like to trade, what we about getting our bag, getting our money, making financial freedom, becoming a testimony, being that first person to break those generational habits. So we working towards something bigger. And if you switch your belief, then it's easier to switch your behavior to make long-term changes. And improvement is only temporary until we become a part of who we are. So motivation don't keep that habit going. It's your belief that keeps that habit going. And I keep harping on that because it keep ringing a bell to me. So I'm just, like, I mean, Jazz, get it from Dre, because I don't know, remember what I said.
It's in your notes. You read it from your
right.
notes.
I'll say this, right.
I got you.
But yeah, so yeah, I write down notes and then I, snippet stuff. But yeah. And this also shows up in our community. It's not only in our area of our environment, but it's in our community, in social media, what we expose ourselves to every day. So you got negative environment, you get negative results, and you become a negative magnet. You got positive environments, you get positive results, so you become a positive magnet. It's all about the plus or the negative, where you want to be at. Because you can't put two of the same sides together. All they're going to do is like this. All you're doing is this. Where are you going? Like, you're not getting any better. You're not growing anywhere. What are you doing? But when you put that plus and that negative together, they come together, right? So that means you need to start making yourself believe that you can make the improvements to influence other people to make the same type of improvements. We are the walking demonstration of what somebody wants to be. So why not show up and be that? So that's just I just went to I really stopped at the next subtitle, really. So that's the part that we'll jump into the next time. But for time's sake, I'll just keep it to that, the first 5 pages. But please hop in and feel free.
That was awesome. And because she's hungry, y'all. Well, that was awesome. That was awesome. And also, it tied in what we just spoke about, being significant. It tied right on in. So I see you, Cynthia. It tied on it right on in with that subject. That was awesome and amazing. And I definitely see myself, and it made me think, especially when me and Dre going to church, that hands out there, and he goes, "What? Y'all improved? What? Y'all here on time?" You know, and so that means we have to change something because people are noticing, right? And they noticed us, which means we still have an impact. So we need to be there on time, right? Because we want to be those. And I mean, because you can't only share the good part about you without sharing some of the bad, because there's no perfect being, right? So we could laugh, but our whole goal, right, is to become better than where we are, right? And so my husband is showing me I can't only show my good side. There is something else where I lack. But the lack, if I can say it, only leaves room for improvement to get better. So when we get better, people notice, oh, shucks, y'all hit early. And so, like you said, I'm going to put it in my mind, not to say today, I'm always early. What you talking about? Right? Did I do that
And
right?
see, Shereen,
I'm always early.
and then,
what you talking about?
And to chime in with you, Shereen, and reading on chapter 2, that's a part of behavior change. You know,
Right.
as it says, you know, your behaviors change, your behaviors pretty much identify your identity. Like if you're late all the time, people are going to know you if you're the late person. You know, so in order not to be, or to be specific things, set yourself goals and don't be, like it says, if you want to win the marathon, first of all, you got to gear yourself up to become a runner. You got to start with the little bitty small things to end up to have the big things. Yes. So yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that was really good. I was getting there, but that was really good.
That was really good. Real quick.
I'm glad you chimed in. Always feel free.
Real quick, before anybody goes, who was iPhone XR? I just let you in. Is that somebody's extra phone? You gotta let me know who you are. I might have to X you out. Is that Nate? I think I've seen that before.
I don't think it is, boss.
No, that's not you.
No, because I ain't on my work.
Did somebody send a notification for somebody to hop in real quick?
Who are you?
Hey, whoever the person that just came in on the call, please unmute real quick and just let us know who you are real quick. I might have to.
Dre, I don't even see a mic, so I don't even know if they have audio.
Wait, yeah, I don't even see that. Yeah. Well, they can't hear what we're doing, so, you know, unless they unmute, I'm not gonna hold them. It might be, I don't know. No, they're out of here.
Yeah.
No sweat. Anyway.
I'm sorry, you was taking too long, so I just took them out. I don't know who they are, so they gotta go. Because we gotta be careful what we let in our environment, right? Enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy, and we're not allowing that in our environment. We're gonna take control, and we're just gonna remove the weeds.
Absolutely. You definitely want to be identifiable when you come on Zoom. And that goes for anybody Zoom that you hop on. You know, make sure you have a name, put a name on it, right? Put a name on it. So, Sin, you got your hand up.
I just wanted to say, because I had finished reading it, and it, you know, it was saying that how we create this habit. First, we have to know who we want to be. Like,
Mhm.
and like Tareem, you were saying something about the lateness. Like I have that issue, and I tell myself I'm going to be on time, and it's something that, like, I sometimes I don't even know why it's like that for me. Maybe something someone spoke in my life as a younger girl. You always making me late, because I remember my mother used to always say that to me, and in the book it was saying how, like what Nolan was saying, is small goals, and also first coming to who you want to be, who you want to be. So focus on becoming the person you want to be. And I guess just telling yourself first, like, I want to be that person that's always on time. I want to be that person that shows up
That's right.
5 minutes early, and just make small steps. And when I don't do it, I attempt not to beat myself up, because a lot of times when I'm not completing that goal, I can start, feeling bad about myself just for being late, because it's just a bad habit. It's a bad habit that I don't like, that stigma. I don't want to be known as always being late, because being late, you miss things, too. You miss opportunities, And so when I read this today, because I'm not gonna lie, I read and listened to the audio, because the audio shares a little extra that's not in the book. I don't know if anyone is aware of that, but I was like, wait a minute, that's not in the book, but the audio is saying other things that's not in this book. So I was saying that's the thing I have to start telling myself, that I want to become that person that is 5 minutes early and not a half an hour late, So and it says also to prove yourself to be the small wins and consistently, and who you want to be, like who do you willing to copy, right? It was saying something like that too. And I was saying Jesus. For me, I want to copy who he is. How would he respond? How would he react? And
you already know he's always on time.
Come on, girl. That's what I'm talking about. That's good. That's good, sis. That's good, guys. I'm telling you, always on
One of my favorite songs.
I set it up for her to do it. That's good, though. That's right. That's right. That's right.
So watch you see, because the joy you getting right now, you're gonna be on time.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Yes, right on time. That was good, Sharif. I like that.
No,
and Cynthia, just to piggyback off of what you're saying, I got that same problem. And what helped me is me creating a system, or me understanding how long it takes for me to do certain things. Like my morning routine, I know it takes me 30 to 45 minutes to get myself up, out, in my car. 45 minutes. So if I wake up at 8, trust me, I ain't getting no shots about 8:45, 9 o'clock. And then here I gotta go get breakfast too, because I don't do nothing for my job until I eat. So I gotta go get my breakfast, and now here I don't come to work until 9:30. So I understood that. So now I started to get to work 30 minutes earlier. And it's not, I didn't get there an hour earlier. My 30 minutes, pat on my back, because normally I'm 30 minutes late. So just identifying that small thing to keep pulling you to your goal. That's where it comes from. That's where you can accomplish it. So I hope me sharing helped.
It definitely helped. I love the fact that you had a resolution or a solution for the issue that you were having. Right now, I was just telling Jazz earlier today. Oh, was Jazz earlier today? I said, I'm struggling with waking up. My goal is to wake up 5:30 in the morning, right? So I tell my device, set my alarm for 5:30, and it's set. So this morning I was intentional. I said, I'm going to wake up at 5:30. Now I woke up at 5:30. However, I rolled over at 5:31. I did.
That's funny. That's funny. Oh my goodness.
I rolled over. I heard it.
One step at a time. Good
Yeah,
job.
so I'm going to attempt at doing it again tonight.
But you
Right.
gotta also think about this, Dre.
I go to sleep too late.
What right? So if you're going to sleep, you're not even giving your body enough time to rest, that it does not want to get up. It's
Or if I
tight.
told you I was tired last night, I could.
But then also, if we want to spin this thing back around, and Cynthia, correct me if I'm wrong, because I can't quote scriptures that well. But doesn't it say it's only a fool who go to bed late and wake up early?
Well, we don't supposed to go to bed late, and we don't supposed to be. Yeah, it does say
Waking
it does
up
say
early.
that. But getting up early at a certain time, you can get more done.
I can
and
get
then
more
you
done.
Time with God too. That's your time. Because I have a problem with that too, Drake. Because it's times I want to get up at 5 o'clock, or 6 o'clock and pray. Just pray and read, even if I'm not going nowhere. But I can set my clock, 4 o'clock come, I get up, turn the clock off, and I stay a little bit, and I be back sleep again. So that's why I was laughing, because I can identify. You wake up, but you don't get up.
Right.
Like, it's a difference.
But you know what? What I noticed, if I had a different purpose, if I was showing up for somebody else, if I was showing up for somebody else's job, if I was showing up for any opportunity, if I was showing up for the prayer call, I would be up no matter what time I went to sleep. 9 times out of 10, I'm going to be up outside of last Friday. Right.
But like Shereen
But
said,
I'm getting up. But what I have to do is I got to remember, what I got to do too is my solution is I have to train my mind that there is a carrot in front of me. What is the carrot that's in front of me? What is the apple? What is the thing that's in front of me that's going to propel my body to say, regardless of whatever it is, I'm going to get up. In turn, that reminds me, what else am I doing in my life? That's what this Atomic Habits reminds me of. What else do I got in my life that if I was to put that in front of it, I can remove all excuses. Oh, the only reason why I didn't wash my car because whatever reason. I didn't take the time out to study because XYZ got in the way. However, if you put a carrot in front of it, if it was some money, if I knew it was some physical money in front of it, if I knew it was some loving at the end of that road, right? If we all do, let's be real. If we know that if there's some loving at the end of the road, we're gonna make it happen. We're gonna cook that meal, we're gonna make it right, we're gonna satisfy that need and desire. So whatever it is in our lives, the smallest thing, we have to treat it with that same intent. With that same energy that you use to go get that carrot, you got to do the same thing. Like even with being in church on time, right? I get a little fussy on Sunday because I got the urge to I want to be there. I want to be closer to the front. If I'm not closer to the middle or closer to the front, I'm funny. Shereen, no. Shereen be like, come on, let's go. We rushing. And I'm sitting up like, we gonna be there. We gonna be there. And then,
that is so funny.
Yo, sometimes I'm behind. Right. So she get fussy. She get fussy too. Cause I had every intent on being there early and like, sitting in the car, fussing before we get in that church. I wanted to be here sooner. I know we wanted to be closer to the front, not so people can see us, but I receive the information better when I'm in the front.
Right.
I'm going to be more attentive when I'm in the front. Can you be as attentive in the front as you are? Can you be as attentive in the back as you would be in the front?
More juice in the front.
You can't, no, but mentally, psychologically, you can. It's all about what you put in your mind.
That's it.
I can sit in the back and still receive it and still hoop and holler and praise and put on like I'm in the front, but I can do it in the back. But I don't want to be in it because the goal is to be in the front. In my business, my goal is to be in the front. In my life, my goal is to be in the front, not the back. Now I can celebrate in the back. I can cheerlead and do my thing in the back. But what I know when I'm in the front, these atomic habits that I create or we create for ourselves is to propel us to be in the front as closest to the front as possible in life.
That's good. I just felt that.
The head and not
Wow.
the tail.
In the
Ooh.
front, I just felt it too.
I'm glad
Wow.
we're recording this. We're going to use this.
That's deep. That's
Right?
But it all go back to intentionality, right, bro?
That's
Like
right.
it's that intentionality that we have to have. And the hard part about being intentional is understanding what the end looks like. Like you go back to what you said, right? Like it's certain things when I engage in certain activities, my wife be like, "Oh Lord, here we go," because she already know. And we're trying to get to the part of goal, right? But I being
Go ahead and
intentional in
cash
that
at
moment. Okay, I know. Okay. What I say?
You can't let it slide. Because she ain't gonna let it
I got you.
Can't let it go.
No, I got
slide.
you.
Somebody gotta get that
Send me the
bread.
cash app. I got you. Yeah, I got you. Send me. I got it. Send me the cash app. I got you. But like it's about that intentionality we gotta have, man. You know, and oftentimes we just won't be in it. We won't be intentional. Like I used to wake up every morning at 4. I stopped waking up at 4 because it was really taking a toll on my health. So I'm up at 4:30, but I'm not out the bed moving around until like 5 now. And even with so you know, I've been doing these prop firm challenges, and I'm like doing this prop firm right now, and I watched this video from this brother, and my man started trading 3 years ago, and he just became profitable this year. But he's on his seventh. He was on his seventh prop firm challenge before he finally passed it. But he said what happened on the seventh. What happened on the seventh, the fifth, sixth, seventh challenges was he started to realize that he was being inconsistent in certain areas, and it was simple things like trading a certain time of day, not taking positions outside of his confirmations. And he realized that when price got in certain pairs, when price got to like 50, like when the price ended in 50, the likelihood that it was going to move with the trend was greater. So he started picking up these little intentional consistencies. And now this brother has this for the past year, he's been able to save his salary and pay all of his household bills with his trading. That he's been able to his profits he's been able to amass from from the prop firms. And the thing that just stuck out to me was he was intentional in every act that he committed. And the thing for him was he could see where he was going to use the money that he was making to benefit his family. And you have to begin every single thing you do with the end in mind. Like begin with the end in mind. And if you do that, man, you're gonna have like you just go the way things are gonna start happening for you is so crazy. I mean, like, just imagine, reading the Bible. And we generally, you read the Bible, First Testament, Old Testament, New Testament, and Revelations, right? After you done read the Bible one time all the way through, when you go back to reading it again because you want to learn more, you have no other option than to think about what Revelation is going to look like. But now when you approaching Revelation, right, like you literally reading it with a different perspective, but you can see what the end of that book look like. And it allows you, even though you may not be able to map out every step, every single thing, you learn new things along your way and read the Bible for the second time or the third time, whatever time you're on. Like, because you being intentional and you know where the end is, like you getting all this information on this journey that now continues to move you closer to your desired place, man. And so, like, I just encourage y'all, man. Like, and I didn't always have that mindset. Like, I celebrate what don't physically exist. My wife be like, boy, it's Saturday, boy, you don't stop all that yelling in that bathroom. I'd be like, girl, no boy, just cut me a check for 50,000. She be like, well, when you get them, wake me up. But right now, stop all that. And I'd be like, okay, cool. And like now, she'd be like, her questions coming to stuff like, so when you get that first $50,000 check, and the energy different. So begin with the end in mind, be intentional, man, and watch how that thing manifests for all of us, man. It's amazing. God is good.
God is good. God is good.
Man, that was so awesome. Like, I'm going to say that in the morning in my office. I wrote that down. I mean, I wrote a lot of things down, but that hit me. That was good for my soul. Work from the end. See the process.
Inside. Yeah.
See the possibilities. And then in your mind, the way God got it set up will automatically gravitate you to that end process. Write the vision, make it plain, so those that see it may run. Right. And so that's exactly what the word says. You just saying it different. So you're showing he wants us to plan it out. Right. Because he said, what man builds a house without first making the plan and seeing all the obstacles that may come before it? Anyway, I'm sorry. Just go ahead.
Absolutely.
That thing hit me good. That was good.
No, that's fire. That's dope.
That part.
That was good.
I was gonna say
That's
that part
dope.
right there that you just said, Stream, reminded me of the story in the beginning of Atomic Habits when he talked about the bicycle. No, was it the bicycle? Yeah, the bicycle. When he talked about the British team, how they took all those losses in the beginning, and then this guy comes along and said, "We're going to pick it apart piece by piece, the smallest things. They thought about the weather. They thought about the breathing. They thought about every little nook and cranny that would allow them to maximize the W, the win. And at the end of the road, they for 100 plus years of being losers. After those couple of years, over the last couple of years, because they applied these few things, these few small changes, these small atomic habits over a nice period of time, they went on to become the best or the biggest bicyclist team in the world, or in the sport for that matter. Working on those small things.
Yeah, man. And it's like even like with me with this so two examples, right? I guess one is a lesson, one is a positive experience, right? So when I went to this authors mixer to discuss some cookbook I'm writing, right? Like I was the only non-published author at that event that I'm speaking at next week. The way I got that gig was when they asked me to present my book, I was like, I haven't published it yet. And she said, well, so get up here and present this book like you've published it. And the first thing I said, Shireen, hey, check this out. The first thing I said was, man, I just want to thank all 10,000 of you for purchasing your tickets today. And everybody was like, what? And they laughed. And I was like, it's so, I have so much gratitude. And I just went on and blah, blah, blah. And then I went to like talking about the cookbook. But as I was talking to these 15 to 20 published authors in this room, like in my mind, I took myself to 10,000.
You took it to 10,000.
I for real took it there. And by the time it was said and done, it was like, so you ain't finished yet? I don't even like to cook. I want the book. This is that, right? And then the second experience I just recently had, this is my fifth prop firm challenge. And the first 3 times I like really screwed it up, right? Like I was like, I thought it was going to be easy. It wasn't easy. And my fourth time, the first time I ever failed a prop firm was the night my mother-in-law died. The second time was a few months later, and I was just wilding. No like structure to my strategy, no system in place. Just I'm trading. I think I know how to trade. The third and fourth time, the third time I was taking signals and trading off my own. The fourth time I was trading off my own, but I was over leveraging, no system in place. And this time, when I failed this prop firm challenge, this time it was because I ran out of time. This is the first time I had a success rate with passing trades, having a winning percentage. But this time I ran out of time because I did lose some trades and I did get some bad positions. But this time, because I was so intentional, the loss didn't hurt. The lesson didn't hurt the same way. Like now I'm one step closer. And then sure enough, I get to see this video the night before the night before I failed my 5th challenge, I saw that video with that brother. And he was just talking about the dude only traded 5 pairs, and he's very intentional with how he traded 5 pairs. So it made me realize what I needed to do with my trading, but more importantly, it made me realize what I needed to do, continue to do with my life. Be like intentional. Like, dog, you know, and like you said, Dre, like at 5:30 is the time you want to wake up. At 5:31, you turn over and go back to sleep. Well, at 5:30, dog, you need to be celebrating 5:30 like it's 5:31. So maybe tomorrow you at 5:32. Because if you're not intentional, dog, you will never rise. My neighbor's behind me. He was cutting the grass for his mama, and we were talking. And I said, bruh, he said, man, it's a lot going on in the world today. And I said, man, it is, brother. And he was like, what we gonna do with people? I said, go read the Old Testament, and then these people won't bother you no more.
I love it.
You know what I said? Like, go read the Old Testament, and people won't bother you no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, man. Like, but just be intentional, y'all. Like, let's all just be intentional. When I was 520 pounds and I started losing weight, I used to walk to my mailbox. I swear, my kids would laugh. Like, my folks was laughing. Like, they used to be like, "That ain't no exercise." I'd be like, "Shit, for me." Then that thing turned into me literally doing 10 miles of cardio a day over a 1.5-year period. But I had to start with walking from my front door to my mailbox and celebrating that accomplishment every day. So just be intentional, man, and watch what happens for you.
This was so good. This was so good. So good. There was a few key lines that were really significant for me when I was reading this particular chapter in the beginning. And in the beginning of it, it talks about the 3 layers of behavior change, right? And I had to ask myself, I had to identify that. I didn't even realize that there were these layers, and they compared it to an onion. And I was listening to the audio version while I was reading, and I had to stop the audio because I wanted to actually go back and really give this some thought. Well, an onion really does have a couple of layers to it before you get down to the core of it, right? And how does this relate to each and every one of us? So I'm gonna just read this one real quick. And it started off by saying, it talked about the outcomes are about what you get. Processes are about what you do. Identity is about what you believe. And when it comes to building habits that last, when it comes to building a system of 1% improvements, and that's all it really takes, right? The 1% improvements, the 1% mindset to be a 1%er, right? What are the 1% things that you're going to do? It says here, I said, the first layer is a changing of your outcomes. And it went on to say on page 30, this level is concerned with changing your results, losing weight, publishing a book, winning a championship. Those are really surface, right? You don't even think of them as surface when we think about setting these goals. We were talking about setting the goals and setting the systems. Well, it's setting the goal and it's understanding the process, and then you got to be able to identify exactly what that is. So it goes on to say most of the goals are associated with this level of change. And most of the goals that we set today are surface. Those are we're looking at the outcome. I know if I can get started trading, I can make a lot of money, right? I know if I get started in business and IM, man, what they're talking about, I know I can travel more. I know I can invest more. Well, what we don't significantly take into consideration is the time and the lessons that we got to learn along the way, the process of taking the trade or becoming successful with trades and investing, or even to go travel, because you can book, you can get the service, but you don't never book the cruise. You don't never book the hotel. You never touch the product. You got into SMX, but you've never utilized the skills that you never even went to the Go Live session, so that you can be a better poster, so that you can be a better content or digital content creator. You got ECX, but you didn't open up the store. You didn't do the small things, or you got it started, but you didn't get to the point where you, at the end of the day, make some money consecutively, right? The second one says, the second layer is the process of change. This level is concerned with changing your habits and systems, implementing a new routine at the gym, decluttering the desk for better workflow. As soon as I read that, I thought about it. I said, this desk is a little messy. I need to declutter my desk, right? Right. Developing a meditation practice. Most of the habits that you build are in association with this level. I thought about that. My habit was, I say, hey, I'm going to wake up at 5:30. And if I wake up at 5:30, then I can get more accomplished. Okay, great. What is the muscle that I'm willing to build up to get to the point where I can wake up actually at 5:30 and not roll over at 5:31? I'm going to celebrate, just like Nate said, I'm going to celebrate the fact that I did wake up at 5:30. I did hear that alarm. But what are the things that I need to do so that I don't just roll over at 5:31 or 5:40, right? What's going to keep me up? So what is the system that I'm looking to create? If it's waking up a little bit, maybe going to sleep a little bit earlier, or again, like I said before, putting a carrot in front of me, right? Putting that carrot in front of me. And last but not least, the third and the deepest layer, the core, the center of it all is changing your identity. Can you identify what your identity is? This level is concerned with changing your beliefs. How hard is it to change the belief? Something that you were grown up with. You've developed this since you was a little boy, since you was a little girl. Most of us believe in who we believe in because it was something that was taught in our household. We believe that we should discipline our child the way our parents disciplined our child. But we come to find out years later, maybe that had been the best way, right? We didn't need to go straight to the belt or get the strap. Maybe it required finesse with your verbiage, with your words. Maybe it required you to just learn how to give your child the look, right? Maybe it just required just sitting down and actually getting into the head of your child and not just telling them to do, but also make sure that you're being an example, right? And last, I'm gonna finish it off. It says, your worldwide view, your self-image, your judgments about yourself and others. Most of these beliefs, assumptions, and biases you hold are in association with this level, the level of identity. So, because we did a 2-hour session. Was this good? Is it worth the 2 hours? I didn't expect
it was
2 hours.
Absolutely.
Right?
It was good. Yes.
It was good. So
Yes.
keep on working on understanding what those layers are. Don't just set the goal. Don't just put the carrot in front of you. Don't just say, hey, I'm going to show up. I'm going to show up for the opportunity and this is going to be my result. But you show up for the opportunity, but are you taking everything into consideration? The time that it takes to do it, the time that it takes away from others, your family members or in associations that you may have, the time that it may take away from your job and your career and the things that you already have going on, the time that it may take for you to take your child to basketball or football practice, right? When we're doing this business, take all of that into consideration, and you can find time to make space for the opportunities that we want to be success, because we're rewriting the book of our lives. We are rewriting the books of our lives right now. This skill set, or this space. That's why I say, don't forsake the gathering. The scripture says, don't forsake the gathering. Some people just thought about probably church or any religious. They thought about religion, but really if you think about it in the circle of life, if you don't have a workout partners, 9 times out of 10, man, you're gonna slide off. So when the time comes that you can't do it on your own, who are you going to lean on? Because I'm gonna tell you what the enemy is gonna do. He's gonna seek, kill, and destroy that dream that you had, or whatever that goal that you thought that you was gonna have to attain that carrot. He's going to destroy it. He's going to axe out everything in the middle, so you'll never get to the end. You can set the tone for the beginning, but he's going to axe out everything that's in the middle, or he's going to discombobulate it. He's going to twist it, or not. He's not going to do it. You're going to probably do it yourself, because the habit that you created, because he doesn't always do it, right? He don't always do it. It's the thing that already has been embedded within you already. Right? The habit that you've already created yourself, the know that you always told yourself, pops back up immediately. It pops back up. You got to be able to put yourself in a circle where people's going to help you flex this muscle. It's going to help tighten up those screws, because the screws get loose. The more you drive that vehicle, you need a tune up every now and then. You need a touch up. You need to put a brand new filter in there every now and then. You got to change the spark plugs after every so many hours or so many miles. The relationship with your significant other isn't right, then you got to find a way to fine tune that too. Put some spice back into it. It needs fine tuning. Because it changes. Somebody just hit TP. Somebody hit profit. Somebody hit profit. I see Jazz. She in there she's trading at the same time. She's never missing an opportunity.
My bad. I'm sorry. My bad.
No, don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. Oh, look, we got to hop off. There's an opportunity call at 9 o'clock. If you don't have guests, just be there to support. If you don't have guests, be there to support.
Look at that, Liz.
9 o'clock when? Tomorrow? Like
right
when?
Now.
Tonight, right now.
Same way.
Okay.
Same opportunity call. Hop on. We there to support. Even if you don't have guests.
Get nuggets, because you'll be in the front.
Yeah.
So,
right. Don't just be there just because your number's there. If you can, turn your camera on. Show action. You know what? You know the most exciting telegrams? You know the most exciting Zooms are the ones where you scroll and look. There ain't a whole lot of people on this thing. When I look and I see a Eric Warray, or I see a Grant Cardone, or I see one of these big time persons that are hosting these Zooms, and I turn and I see all these faces, white, black, Asian, Indian, all of these nationalities, and then I see all these people with their joints off. It's the ones that are on, I see their faces and I see them taking notes or kicked up and just it's taking all the information in so that they can use it later. Those are ones that make me want to say, hey, man, I know I'm in the right place. They got the energy right in here. But if you turn those cameras off, you got 100 people on a Zoom, and 20 of them or 10 of them got their camera on. I'm not as excited. Like, I don't even know if this is real. It looks scammy. It looks fake. Maybe they got a fake bot for Zoom. That's what people think. But when people see other people there, like when you go to an event and you see people there, you turn up. So listen, I'm done. I prayed everybody really enjoyed this particular Zoom. I am going to end off with a little something, a little quick 1 minute alley-oop. But before I do that, I want y'all to unmute, show your love and make some noise.
Talk to me,
Brett.
Talk to me.
Talk to me.
Talk to me.
Yeah.
Talk to me, man.
You gotta say it like that. Talk to me.
Talk to me.
Talk to me, man.
Oh man, I love y'all. Hey, look, like I promised, I'm gonna drop this. Y'all go ahead and copy and paste and listen to that a little bit later. But that song that I told you that I created back on my square, I think that's the one I did. If not, then I gotta take a look again. But I stopped me from me achieving possible. But I want to turn on this real quick. So a little backstory. So I did this little video. My son was out playing basketball. We get together on every Tuesday in the men's ministry, and the old Lions and the young Lions or the young Cubs, they come out and everybody's playing ball, enjoying themselves, having a good time, right? So the very last game that we had, we was there from like 6 to like 9. And typically we're done by 8:30. But they said, let the young boys run, because we wind up having a whole bunch of young guys in there too. And they were also playing full court with these grown men and getting a lot of encouragement when it was moments of them feeling discouraged because they didn't make the shot or they tripped or fell or whatever. The older Lions picked them up and said, hey, look, it's going to be all right. Coached them along the way, coaching my son along the way. So I was grateful for it, be able to take some video footage of it. I used it, and this is what I came up with. If you hadn't seen it already, the little backstory towards this, when I posted the video, I posted it on Instagram. I created it from TikTok, sent it over to Instagram, and Facebook, and it got pretty good response. I posted it in my stories for YouTube. An hour and a half later, less than an hour and a half later, I was like, oh, I got over 340 something people that viewed this thing. I was like, man, I've never had that. Now that may be a nothing to somebody, but I've been feeding the pony and I haven't been getting the results. I've been getting 10, 12, 13 people, 30 something people watching stuff, but I've never seen that fast pace of amount of people that were listening.
Found your lane, my son.
I'm fine. But what I said to say that, finding my niche, keep on coming back for myself, finding the time to be where I can find my way so I can be significant and impact others. And this was
Dr. China said something. Randy Webb said something.
Yeah.
I was really excited. You see people who normally, well, Webb always say something about Dre post, but just to see Dr. China on there and say, Dre, I think you found your lane. That was, to me, that was impactful when you can impact your leaders. So
it meant something. It did mean something to me. I can't even lie. It did mean something to me. That means that, okay, we're working.
Yo, Rich Man Cannon.
Talk to me.
This link that you put in, could I post it on my Facebook?
Absolutely.
Okay, so it's going up there like right now.
My man, I appreciate King.
All right, cool. No doubt.
Thank you.
Right, so let me share. If you hadn't done so already on YouTube, you can go to look up the Bread Talk Investors. Please subscribe, share with your friends, like, share. This is content isn't just about me and Shareem. I promise you, we got plenty of videos in here for us. And if ever you got any videos, I would love to post it up here too as well. If you don't have a YouTube, go ahead and get yourself a YouTube and start learning how to post a couple videos on there and build up your following. Piece by piece, you'll get it. So this one right here, I called it Stay Hungry.
I like that background.
Man, hey, look, first and foremost, I want to thank Forth for helping me out with this, because it created a banner for it. Ew, man, listen, Forth is, he said, oh, all you got to do is do this and do that and do that. And I did it after he left my house. We chopped it up for a minute, left my house. I said, yo, Forth, look, I got it. I've been doing this stuff for a year and I couldn't figure it out. Trying to, take that back. Attempting to make a banner. I just didn't know how to do it. I said I didn't want to pay anybody to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So my brother helped me out with it. Teamwork does make the dream work. My wealth community did that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this one is called Stay Hungry, Don't Quit. This is at my actual voice. I was on some Eric Thomas time.
I enjoyed it. It was lit.
Oh, wait a minute. What did I do?
I didn't think that was you at first. I had to listen to it again. I was like, hold on, that is Dre.
That's on me, baby.
Yes.
What's up with the volume?
Heard of it.
Somebody over there making some money, man. I'm here. I'm seeing handshake.
I'm only on.
Oh, silly me. Here we go.
It's the matter of the fact that I'm like, it's flowing.
No. Ain't no quitters here. Oh, no. We don't quit. We don't stop. We push here. Oh, yeah. You think somebody's going to give you sympathy? Why? For what? You gotta earn everything you get. Everything that comes across your path. You gotta show that you're hungry for opportunity, hungry for success, hungry to win, hungry with a desire, hungry like a lion. You gotta work, and push until you can't push no more. And then when you do, you get back up.
That's what's up.
Yo, I watched it 5 times since you sent the
Fire.
link. I watched it 5
That's
times. my
energy for
guy.
you, baby.
Yeah, that's fire.
That junk
Fire.
is fire.
That's some
Listen, at
energy
some
for
point, I'm
you.
like, wait, that's him. Wait.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, it's the energy, bruh.
Everything on key.
It's the energy.
The energy, man. The energy, man. People
That's
love the
facts.
energy, yo.
Hey,
You know, people
Hey,
love
Dre-
being screamed at in a way they love being screamed at when you're talking motivation.
They don't love the scream. They love the energy.
all part of it though.
Not the scream, but the energy.
Screamed at.
I mean, it was loud, but it brought the energy. Like,
Scream like, don't you come up here screaming at me.
that was a
Hey,
positive scream.
That was positive,
Hey,
yes.
Hey Dre, I just listened to you love that check, nigga, huh? You love that check, nigga. I ain't mad at you. Listen, you sound good. You sound good. I'm not just saying that. You sound good.
Thank
want
you,
that
Queen.
check, nigga, huh? That's right.
Yeah.
Get that check. New York, I tell you, boy.
Thank you. I got a couple other
Relate the call.
I got a couple tracks up there. So let me hop off, man. I appreciate everybody showing up for your success. Let's run it up, man. Let's hop on this call and let's give them let's let them know what Bread Talk is all about. You know how we run. Talk to me.
Where that link at?
Should be in the group. Just,
Alright,
you should still have it. You might have been on it yesterday. If you hadn't, it's in the I reposted in the group just in case.
all right, thank you.
All right.
All right.